Okay, here's a quick video on COVID-19 vaccinations. What should the government be doing, okay, with respect to getting us all jabbed with this COVID-19 vaccine? What they should be doing is operating a policy of informed consent. So that means making a list of all the risks associated with the virus, COVID-19, what might happen to us if we get it, in a detailed level, but still clear, nice sequential, links to videos to make it very, very clear so it's not a painful, tedious headache, because it doesn't need to be with modern technology. And also talk about the risks associated with the vaccines themselves, risks that we know and don't know about as well due to a lack of long-term testing and novelty, everything like that, and how those risks might apply to different demographics, different people, different age groups with given health conditions and all the rest of it. And the same with COVID-19. Now, who can honestly disagree that that's how it shouldn't work? Okay? An intelligent expression to provide an argument for us to make an informed decision. That's got nothing to do with being a vaxxer or anti-vaxxer or conspiracy theorist or anything like that. That's science, isn't it? It's just showing us the science on a more detailed level. But my prediction is that it's not going to happen. The government will not operate a policy of informed consent with very clear, comprehensive, numbered communication so that people can make a wise decision. Because as soon as they make that template, okay, which is, a real one, not one that's buried in a whole lot of fine print that only medical technicians read or whatever, as soon as they do that, they create that platform, all of a sudden, all those serious qualified critics of the government's regime, mass vaccination regime, can comment on it. They can say, oh, excuse me, you really are being a bit disingenuous with this point here or there. It's incomplete. It creates a false impression on certain levels. The data behind this is a little bit iffy. We know that there have been problems with how things have been measured, etc., etc. I mean, statistics can be a god-awful mess. We all know that. They can do all of that sort of thing, which is largely what's happening now behind the scenes. But the difference is, as soon as you create that platform of informed consent, a government statement, they can do that without looking like an anti-vaxxer or a conspiracy theorist. They can't be just written off. You'll have people interviewed in radio shows and whatnot talking about the risks of COVID-19 or the vaccinations. Now, as soon as they do that, it's actually all about the science. We're having the public conversation on the science. Right now, it's not about the science. It's about people who claim to be about the science, sidelining all serious critics as not being about the science. And the truth is, we're just avoiding the whole conversation on informed consent and the whole conversation on the actual science. The government, as it appears, currently wants to get everybody vaccinated on, let's be honest, blind faith. How many people who get that jab, how many of them have been told clearly about the real risks and the controversies? How many of them have been encouraged to get second opinions from people who have every imaginable credential to be able to do such a thing? It's obvious. The very fact that it's being pushed in the line of blind faith as opposed to informed consent is in itself a very good reason to stand back and hold back from this. This is not honourable due process. And that's your first clue that something's not quite right here. Or something, the argument for blind faith in the government is questionable when they're not doing the right thing. We've got a C-19 panic at the moment, and while the panic's high, the fear is high, and while all critics are being demonized as anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists, and while the media is playing ball with it by sidelining all those sort of people, and while so many people, so many critics are afraid to speak up because they don't want to be demonized as undermining the war effort against COVID-19, while all this is going on, it's the most wonderful opportunity to mass vaccinate everyone with a vaccine which is classed, and this is not conspiracy theory, it is scientifically classed as experimental due to its lack of long-term testing. No way should we be tolerating that if we see ourselves as adults who deserve to be treated like adults. We need to move in the game of informed consent. But again, it's not going to happen, I don't believe, because as soon as that template of risks from both sides, the vaccine or COVID-19, as soon as the conversation moves in that direction, it will seriously undermine the government's ability to drive everything in drive the mass vaccination on blind faith. I say stick it up your backside, government. I'm not getting that damn vaccine for a long time yet. If I get it at all. And I don't think anybody else should be doing that until we're treated like adults, until it's about informed consent and coming upfront and clean with the risks on both sides of the game, and until legitimate critics are allowed to have their say as well. Thank you.